is Channel 4. Now, full coverage of this week's events on the American football scene, including those results from last week, which we were unfortunately unable to bring you because of the exciting tennis final. American football.
4-4-4. 4-4-4.
Pressure's big, he's chased, he's on the run.
I don't think he made it. He didn't make it.
And now the ball does come loose. Fumbles. Now he runs with the ball inside the 5. Touchdown!
Good evening. Tonight I can assure you that normal service is resumed as we bring you the highlights of an excellent game between the Miami Dolphins and the Denver Broncos. The chance to see, among many other things, the contrasting styles of the Dolphins' Dan Marino and the Broncos' John Elway, two of the NFL's most dynamic young quarterbacks. Also tonight, how the San Francisco 49ers were stunned by the New Orleans Saints and how the Washington Redskins were slaughtered by the Chicago Bears. John Smith's report tonight comes from the Meadowlands, New Jersey, where last Sunday the Indianapolis Colts met the New York Jets. And as we told you a fortnight ago, the Colts this season have a running back who hails from our very own neck of the woods. His name, Owen Gill.
That's right, Nicky. Owen Gill lived the first 16 years of his life in Clapham, South London. Now aged 23, he's just starting out on what he hopes will be a glittering NFL career. He's done incredibly well to reach this level of football in so short a space of time. And those childhood days of his in Britain are worlds away now. Owen Gill's story later in the programme.
John Smith. Right, tonight's action in a moment, but first we've got some catching up to do. Last week's programme, as you'll have gathered, didn't include our usual results roundup. We're well aware how many of you keep a note of the season's scores, so here they are, the full list of results for Week 3. San Francisco 49ers, 34. Los Angeles Raiders, 10. Chicago Bears, 33. Minnesota Vikings, 24. Los Angeles Rams, 35. Seattle Seahawks, 24. Kansas City Chiefs, 0. Miami Dolphins, 31. San Diego Chargers, 44. Cincinnati Bengals, 41. Denver Broncos, 44. Atlanta Falcons, 28. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 13. New Orleans Saints, 20. Detroit Lions, 6. Indianapolis Colts, 14. New York Jets, 24. Green Bay Packers, 3. New England Patriots, 17. Buffalo Bills, 14. Houston Oilers, 0. Pittsburgh Steelers, 20. Cleveland Browns, 7. Dallas Cowboys, 20. Philadelphia Eagles, 19. Washington Redskins, 6. St. Louis Cardinals, 17. New York Giants, 27. Now, just to remind you, those were last week's results. This week, our all-singing, all-dancing roundup returns. You can be sure of that. But now it's the Dolphins at the Broncos. The night before the game, winter began in Denver. 8 inches of snow falling in a matter of hours. The temperature in the Mile High Stadium was still around the freezing mark at game time, but the field had been cleared of snow and conditions underfoot were excellent. We join play late in the first quarter. There's no score, and Miami have the ball at their own 26-yard line. It's 1st down and 10.
Good play action, screen to Davenport, fumbles, and does Denver have it in bounds? Yes, they do at the 25-yard line. Rulon Jones, number 75. Screen pass to rookie Ron Davenport. Davenport fumbles. Rulon Jones has recovered for the Broncos, and the first break goes to Denver at the Miami 25-yard line.
Good play, stripping the ball, number 75, Rulon Jones. Busick has a chance. It was finally Jones who pulled it in, and they have the football for the 3rd time today in Miami territory.
Jones forced the fumble and then recovered it. Elway goes to this side, complete to Clarence Kay, his tight end, and Kay is down at the 20-yard line. Bud Brown who has been in on several defensive plays already, makes another hard hit from his safety spot. Second and 4, and Winder out of a crowd and ad-libs his way for 5. Sammy Winder stopped cold and just spun his way out before the whistle sounded and turned no gain into 3 or 4. He's close to a first down inside the Miami 16.
Defensively, you never stop till the whistle blows. Look right there. Betters had a hold of Winder. Could not get him to the ground. Winder just spun out and gets good yardage. That's making something out of nothing.
And in turn, Bob Brzezinski made an excellent defensive play, showing good speed to track him down when Winder appeared he might go all the way. Third and less than a yard. Elway sneaks it in for the first down to the 13. Appeared, Merlin, for a moment that he was having trouble handling the snap.
Anytime the temperature drops down below freezing, that ball starts to get hard. That is leather, and it starts to take on a different texture.
Good blocking for Sammy Winder, and Bud Brown again comes up to make a hit. Gain of about 3. It appeared to be set up for much more for Winder, but good pursuing defense by the Killer Bee defense. 2:44 remaining in the first quarter. No score, and Denver is at the Miami 10. Gene Lang, 5, touchdown, Lang. A little misdirection, and Gene Lang from 10 yards slams into the end zone. Denver takes the lead.
You see the little play, almost a draw play. Lang going back against the grain, took a real shot by number 47, Glenn Blackwood, but kept his balance, threw himself head over heels into the end zone, and the Broncos delight their fans with the first touchdown.
Try for point. Kubiak to hold for Carlos, and he's got it. Glenn Hyde with a snap. He's taking over for the injured Keith Bishop. 7-0 Denver. Rulon Jones forcing a fumble from rookie Ron Davenport, covering that fumble at the 25, and the Dolphins marching in for the score. Carlos hits it deep. Lorenzo Hampton at the goal line. The rookie from Florida has a piece of daylight and then is tripped up at the 27-yard line. Mike Harden may have saved a very long gain by Hampton. He was just breaking into the clear.
Both of these teams went after running backs with their first picks. Hampton, of course, someone that they're very excited about in Miami. Showed us good speed there. I think you're right. If he breaks open, he's gone.
Harden just got enough of him to knock him off balance. Elway now talking with his coaches upstairs as Dan Marino's in the spotlight. Miami trailing 7-0. 2:09 left first quarter. From the 27. Hampton, or is it Nathan, to the 28-yard line, and that's all. The Bronco defense tough against the run. Tony Nathan from Alabama, the veteran, getting a yard or two. At the 29-yard line, call it 2nd down and 8. Miami losing to Houston in the opener at the Astrodome, then winning convincingly against Indianapolis and Kansas City, a 31-0 shutout last week. Nathan to the 30 and maybe the 32. Marino, 3rd and 5. Down the middle and wide open. Matt Moore, the veteran. Dennis Smith can't get him. Moore has a touchdown. "69 yards. Matt Moore from Dan Marino, and the all-time pass receiver in Miami Dolphin history. Moore both in catches. He came into this season leading all of the Dolphins in catches, and 421 and in touchdowns, and he just adds another to both of those records.
Moore has been nursing a sore ankle. In fact, had a brace on that ankle yesterday. No sign of that as he leaves the Bronco defense behind and carries it into the end zone.
Rouves knocks home the extra point, and this game is even at 7. 42 seconds remaining. First quarter here in Denver. We're tied at 7.
The second quarter now. Miami's ball again. It's first down and 10 at the Broncos' 47-yard line.
Out of the backfield, Tony Nathan to the 40-yard line, a pickup of 7, and a flag goes down. A late hit going to be called against the Broncos.
That's a dumb penalty. You don't want to give your opponent better field position than they have. Miami inside of Denver's territory.
Personal foul. Late hit number 58, 15-yard penalty.
Steve Busick, inside linebacker for the Broncos.
Let's go to the end of that play. You'll see Marino reading the play well, gets the ball off, and again, a very quick throw. Tony Nathan on the ground, and Busick coming, just speared him on the ground. An unnecessary shot, and the official quickly threw the flag.
15-yard penalty takes it down to the 25, and a first down for the Dolphins. 30 seconds gone in the second quarter. Nathan did not see the ball. Marino, all he could see was Rulon Jones applying a lot of pressure.
That's the kind of pressure that they want to get on Marino. They want to get in his face as quickly as possible to keep him from being able to watch downfield for those receivers.
Second and 10. It's Lorenzo Hampton for a couple of yards to the 22-yard line. Third down and 8 for Marino. Moore has a first down and maybe more. Touchdown! Nat Moore's second score. Did he step out of bounds? Down at the 12-yard line. There's a flag down over there. We may have had a peel back block by another receiver that'll go against Miami. It is against the Dolphins to take the touchdown away.
Apparently a clipping call against the Dolphins, and will move the ball back about to the 23-yard line.
Illegal block in the back. Number 88 offense will replay the third down.
Vince Heflin, number 88, but see how quickly that ball zips. That's a zinger. Nat Moore, another big catch. His was the big touchdown. There's the shot in the back. Heflin coming up to try and block for Moore. Simply smashed a man in the back. Otherwise, Moore has a touchdown.
The penalty marked right at the spot where the other line of scrimmage was, so it's third down and 8 again. Marino down the middle, and Nathan can't quite get his hands on it. Marino had a touchdown. The pass led Nathan a bit too much as he was open. Out of the backfield, Nathan going straight downfield. So in will come Fouad Rouves, the rookie from the University of Tennessee. Boy, that volunteer club last year had 2 outstanding kickers. Rouves, picked in the 7th round by the Dolphins, has made the squad here. And of course, Jimmy Colquitt was the punter for Tennessee last year, and he is now kicking for the Seattle Seahawks. Rouves, this will be a 40-yard attempt. It is good. Plenty of distance and just inside the upright. Rouves hits again. He's 8 for 9, and Miami leads for the first time.
Neither the Broncos nor the Dolphins were able to make much use of their next possession. So now it's Denver's ball. Second down and 5 at Miami's 27-yard line.
Both Butch Johnson and now Watson. Watson from the slot in motion. Second and 5. He's going to scramble and go into that slide at the 22. Now, it's where the ball is when he starts to slide. You might think he should get progress to the 20. They'll mark it where the ball was down when he made the slide. A flag is down as well. Mark Brown was the closest Dolphin.
Going to be a motion call against the Broncos.
Illegal motion. Offense. Number 81 went in motion before the second man set. Illegal shift on number 81.
Now, this can happen to you. It's such a complex offense. Now, you can't have two men moving at the same time. Steve Watson has to wait until Jim Wright, who's the H-back, settles down into his position. He didn't wait long enough, and they get the 5-yard penalty and neutralize a nice gain on Elway's scramble.
2nd down and 10. Wilhite in the backfield. Elway over the middle, complete to Lang. Gene Lang is down to the 6-yard line. 1st and goal, Denver.
Both teams utilizing a lot of offensive firepower. A little swing. You saw number 33 just come out of the backfield. He beats the linebacker across the center, and then it's up to the defensive backs to stop him. That was Bob Brzezinski, 59, that he got out of position to beat up the middle on that play.
You see the snow piled at the ends of the stadium down at that end of the field. They spot the ball just outside the 6. 1st and goal. 10-7 Miami leads, but Denver threatens. Winder. Touchdown. Defense was so tough, the goal line stand last week against Kansas City, but twice Denver has scored on surprisingly long runs in tight. A 7-yard run by Winder. Lang earlier went 10 yards for a touchdown.
Winder's just going to go to his left. He gets outside of a few people, and then he cuts inside of a very nice block by Winford Hood. 74. Well, that was a pretty block.
Rich Carlos hits the extra point. And with 5 minutes and 32 seconds remaining in the first half, the score here at Mile High Stadium. Broncos 14, Dolphins 10. The Broncos lead 14-10. Lorenzo Hampton, he's going to run it out. The 10, and he pays for it at the 14. Daniel Hunter, number 25, and Roger Jackson, 28. From the 15-yard line, Marino trailing 14-10. Down the middle, Nathan all alone. Can they catch him? 40. Woodard can't get him. Yes, he does. Ken Woodard, a linebacker. The ball is down at the 12-yard line. The ball is down at the 12-yard line as Nathan caught by linebacker Ken Woodard. A 75-yard play.
Two great lessons here as you watch. First, a tremendous play-action fake by Marino froze the defense and allowed Nathan to get free. But now watch Ken Woodard. He won't give up, and he keeps coming, and he just gets a handful right here of Jersey and dives down on the back of the legs. The ball bounced away after he hit the ground, so they won't call a fumble. But what a great recovery by Woodard. An error to begin with. Perhaps not by Woodard, but a great recovery by Woodard to get him down.
75-yard play positions Marino and Miami a first down at the 12. To give to Ron Davenport. He fumbled earlier. He smothered after a 3- or 4-yard gain. Steve Foley, 43. First man in. Harden there. Rulon Jones. In case you joined us late, Ron Davenport fumbled at his own 25. Rulon Jones recovered, and the Broncos went in to score the first touchdown of the game on a 10-yard run by Gene Lang. Then Marino to Moore, a 69-yard touchdown pass, made it 7-all. Revay's a 40-yard field goal, 10-7 Miami, until Winder's 7-yard touchdown run that kept an 82-yard drive in 8 plays. And now Miami trying to strike right back with 3:43 left in the half. Nathan. Stop cold at the 6-yard line. Mike Harden. Big play. 3rd down and 4. Marino too low. Incomplete. It was trapped by Vince Heflin, number 88. Steve Wilson on the coverage. So Fuad Revay's the rookie field goal kicker for Miami, will come in to try for 3. That has to be disappointing for Marino not to get more out of that drive.
Watch number 57, Dwight Stevenson, on the nose, working on Townsend. One-on-one, doing a good job. Good job on the top by Cleveland Green, the tackle. Look from that angle like he caught it, but you could see it bounce even from where we are, Dick.
Strock to hold for Reve's 24-yard attempt. And he's got it. Reve's is 2 for 2. He's 9 for 10. With the Dolphins, his only miss was from 52 yards into the wind. So he's been nearly perfect.
Miami began their next drive at their own 25-yard line and have now advanced to their 37. 2nd down and 10.
Down the middle to Clayton, his first catch. And he is tough in the open field all the way to the 34-yard line. 1st down Miami. Mark Clayton, who had a record 18 touchdown catches last year. That's his first of this afternoon.
They're quickly to the line of scrimmage. Marino is calling an audible.
53 seconds left. Low snap. And he had to dump that one off. Nathan thought he was held, and now a late flag comes in as Ken Woodard, 52, apparently had some of Nathan's jersey.
They're going to call Mecklenburg perhaps for a late hit on the quarterback. It looked like he had a chance to avoid him.
52
no,
defense.
it is on 52. You were right.
Well, it could have been called the other way, too. That was borderline. They ignored Mecklenburg's late hit, but Nathan appealing, and no one saw it except the official far downfield, and Woodard is ticketed for 5
yards and a 1st down.
Of course, that brings with it a 1st down and also stops the clock. Mecklenburg blitzing. Now, they're using him in a lot of different positions. They use him at all 4 linebacker positions, moving across the field. They'll put him down anywhere along the line. He came very hard. Nobody touched him. That's why Marino had to unload the football so quickly.
From the 29. Dennis Smith making the tackle of Nat Moore after a 5-yard gain. 2nd and 5. Going for Joe Rose. Touchdown Miami. Rose, the tight end, beats Harden. And Miami takes the lead again. For Rose, his first touchdown of the year.
Vindication for Joe Rose, and you see Marino coming after him to congratulate him. Big Doug Betters. Mike Harden, 31, trying to cover man-to-man. Rose does not have brilliant speed, but boy, does he know how to run a pattern. And look where this football is thrown. Now, when you throw a ball that well, even tight coverage is just not going to get the job done.
24 yards on the play. Reve's to try the extra point. Ooh, low, but it skids through, and Miami leads by 6 at 20-14.
Denver now only had a few seconds to move the ball before the end of the first half. It's 1st down and 10 at their 36-yard line.
Elway gunning the ball deep on the sidelines to Watson, out of bounds at the Miami 49-yard line. It's Elway on the rubber now with 13 seconds left. Sidelines to Watson, trying to fight off John Swain, number 29. Fans thought there should be a flag, and there is one, but it's over on this side of the field, not where that contact was made between Swain and Watson.
It's over on the side of the field where Butch Johnson was going head-to-head with William Judson, number 49.
Interference, 87 defense.
87?
Can't be right. 87.
I don't think Shula wants that number. He said what? Who?
There
we
is
don't
no
have an
87. There's a 47.
I think it was on.
Blackwood.
Well, there's a 47. It could have been on him, but I don't even think he's out there right at the moment. They've got their long yardage defense, their nickel defense on the field. In fact, more than a nickel. Got 2, 4, 6.
87 is Dan Johnson. He'll be activated next week. He said, hey, I got enough problems. Wait till I get in the game.
Dan's on the sideline. He said, you can't call it on me. I'm not on the field.
9 seconds left from the 39. Elway looking for perhaps a quick out and a field goal chance, motioning for Sewell. to move inside, and Elway going to run. And out of bounds behind a good block, and that stops the clock 4 seconds and gives Rich Carlos a chance for a long field goal. A 9-yard run by Elway, who led the AFC quarterbacks in rushing last year, gained 237 yards.
Extreme long yardage situation and a smart call by Reeves. Realized that against 7 DBs, your chance of completing a pass not good, just getting enough. And you see the bare foot of Rich Carlos in the last 2 years has never put anything on that foot, even on the cold days. He said, I did put a sock on when it was 20 below in Kansas City.
47 yards away, and he has hit the post again, and it bounces out. Rich Carlos, who has had a penchant for that, an affinity for hitting the upright, hits the left side. A flag is down. We'll check the call. Some of the Dolphins are on their way to the locker room. It's against Miami.
Defense has 12 men in the field. 5-yard penalty.
There's a break for the Broncos. 12 men on the field of play, and Don Shula, whose teams consistently through the years were the least penalized in the NFL, don't often get that kind of call. They don't make those kinds of mistakes, and you know someone will pay for it, and it might just be the rookie George Little from Iowa, their 3rd-round draft pick. So Carlos will get a second chance. Carlos is working on a string of 10 in a row.
You got 12 on the field. We can count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There they are, indeed. They've got them there.
This one will be 42 yards. It is on the other upright and goes through. Oh, my. We told you that Carlos had an affinity for that piece of iron. First he hits the left, no good, gets a penalty, moves him 5 yards closer, so he kisses it off the other upright and caroms it through.
Looking at it from the end zone, you can see how close this one came, just nursing itself over and gets the benefit of the kiss.
So that is the end of the first half. Rich Carlos hits his 11th in a row. And the score is now Miami 20, Denver 17.
Into the third quarter now, and Denver are on their opening drive. 1st and 10 at Miami's 38-yard line.
Elway going to keep it himself, and to safety across the sidelines at about the 33. That'll be a gain of 5 or 6.
Yes, maybe we could catch it on the sideline. They have a kicking net over there to practice their kicking into, and as Elway charged onto the sideline, one of the photographers thought he'd get out of the way, ran right into the net, looked like a fish being snatched up out of the water over there.
Get him in the boat.
Yeah, they got him to drag him in. Smart play by Elway. Nothing downfield. Again, using those quick feet, and his mobility has been a big difference in this game so far today, Dick.
Trailing 20-17. It's 2nd down and a short 5. Ball at the Miami 33. Elway, quickie outside to Wilhite. Gerald Wilhite, and he has a 1st down at the Miami 24. 9 more yards for the Broncos. Shiver made the hit, and the clock stopped with 11:52 left in the 3rd quarter.
Wilhite, a 1st-round draft pick a couple of years ago, and in Denver they've kind of had to bite the bullet a little bit. He has never really come to the kind of stature that they expected out of him. He works hard, he is productive, but he is not the great back that they thought they had drafted.
Kind of missed those end zone backflips he used to do early on. This is Gene Lang, 20, and he's to the 19, maybe the 18-yard line. Lang at 5'10" and 196. That's almost the prototype for the running backs for Dan Reeves. They're all about 5'10", 5'11", right at the 195 to 200-pound mark.
Well, and he'll rotate them in and out of the backfield. He believes in using a lot of people, as does Don Shula. Both these offensive teams and defensive teams, for that matter, keep a lot of people involved. A lot of substitutions on and off the field.
Inside the 20-yard line, Miami's lead of 3 being threatened by this Bronco drive. 9th play of the drive to start the 2nd half. 2nd and 5. Winder. Look at all the blockers. And he's on his way to the goal line and stopped at the 1-foot line. Again, it was Bud Brown to deny the touchdown, but first and goal, Denver.
2 fine blocks on that last play. Perhaps you'll be able to see them. The first one by Steve Watson, 81, who's coming out right there. And then Lang, 33, makes the second block. It's 1-on-1. 49 gets it. Johnson misses the shot there. They finally trap Winder, but he rolls into the end zone. They mark it just outside of the goal line.
Boy, that Lang has thrown 2 destructive blocks in this game. First and goal. Winder gets it this time, and the Broncos lead. He earned it. He gets the touchdown in his column.
Winder coming in again behind the block by Lang, Gene Lang. Good block by Jim Wright coming over. Watch 87 come out and block to the outside to keep Roberts so well out of it. And good surge by that good offensive line. Clarence Kenny celebrating there a little on the line of scrimmage.
White Shoes Johnson took a 5-yard penalty for that kind of thing last week. Carlos misses both uprights, and he misses in the right direction, right down the middle, but a flag is down. Motion against
67 offense, in motion, 5-yard penalty, will re-kick.
Ian Maraldi in that offensive line, so Carlos will have to kick it over. It was Miami with a penalty on the 47-yard field goal at the end of the half. 12 men on the field. It gave Carlos a second chance the other way, and he made good.
Well, these Denver fans certainly don't lack for support of their home team. You can see their signs as well as their bright colors, and I'm sure that this has really become a comfortable home for Dan Reeves. Right next to him on the sideline, the young man in the dark hat, that's Dan's son Lee. He's a fine linebacker here for the #1 high school team out at Cherry Hills High School.
Uh-oh, this one is no good. So Carlos, and it appeared that Langford pressuring, but Carlos might have hit just the very top of that upright.
That's a significant point. That means they're 3 points out instead of 4. That could be a big play in this ball game, Dick.
Carlos misfires at the 3-point game.
Now, less than 4 minutes from the end of the third quarter, Miami have lost wide receiver Mark Clayton with a sprained ankle, but they have possession once again.
Dan Marino, first down at his own 24-yard line. Actually, the 25. Play action to Nathan. The throw goes out to Moore, and Harden secures him at the 36-yard line. That'll be close to a first down. I believe he's got it.
And what a tremendous advantage it is for Don Shula to have veterans like Nat Moore on his squad. And Nat Moore played sparingly when Duper and Clayton were ripping everyone up last year. Now suddenly with injuries, he is the main man again and responding beautifully here today.
Don Shula has a good reserve. Bank of Shula has an excellent reserve.
Knows how to use his talent too, Dick.
Woody Bennett moves up onto the tight end position, leaving Nathan in the backfield, first down. A quick pitch of Moore, or that's Heflin trying to slice through the secondary. That was a tough throw for Marino. Second and 10. Marino and Miami at the 36. Over the middle to Hardy, the tight end, dropped at the 45, a yard short of the first down. Woodard and Smith collaborating. It'll be 3rd and 1.
Bruce Hardy, a durable performer in his 8th year, really only has missed 1 game in all that time, and for the kind of hammering that he has taken, and he is one that mixes it up pretty good, does a lot of blocking in there, a lot of moving around. Pretty good record.
Marino's numbers over the 300-yard mark, and we still have 3 minutes left in the third quarter. 14 times in just 2 years plus for Marino over that 300-yard mark, a measuring stick for a big passing day. 3rd and 1. Play action to Nathan. Wide open. Harden knocks him out of bounds at the Denver 47, but Miami has another first down. Lorenzo Hampton, #1 pick out of Florida, and he slashes for 5. 6 feet tall and 212 pounds. The ex-Gator is around 100 yards rushing in his first 3.5 games. 2nd and 5. Hampton again. He couldn't get around Roy Foster. Foster, as pulling guard, had been forced deep into the backfield by the Denver rush, and Hampton suffers a loss. Marino, complete to Heflin. He breaks free at the 30. He's at the 20. Vince Heflin will score his first NFL touchdown, and Miami leads.
Let's give Vince Heflin a chance to celebrate. Heflin pressed into action here most forcibly because of the injuries that continue to deplete the wide receivers of the Miami Dolphins. But there he is, number 88 Heflin, working solo on Louis Wright, number 20. Fakes to the outside and gets Louis to bite right there, and then spins away, actually from 2 people. Boy, that was Steve Foley, who's a deadly one-on-one tackler. He got away from 2 of them and broke into the end zone.
46-yard touchdown play, and now the extra point by Reveiz, and that gives the Dolphins a 4-point lead, 27-23. Marino's 3rd touchdown pass goes to Heflin.
With the help of 2 pass interference penalties against Denver's Steve Wilson and Dennis Smith, fouled Reveiz increased Miami's lead with this field goal 7 minutes into the final quarter. As we rejoin play, Miami have the ball at the Dolphins' 45-yard line. 1st down and 10.
Elway in trouble. Has a man open now, and a first down at the 16-yard line. Butch Johnson. That is Elway's feet. We talked about it earlier. Got the strong arm, but his feet got him ready for it.
And this is an experienced receiver who gets downfield, sees his quarterback in trouble, and comes back to the football right there. Elway hands it to him. Boy, he zipped it down there. Tremendous play by the Broncos. Again, Elway's mobility being the difference in that play.
First down at the Miami 16. Clock running. We're at the 4-minute mark. Dolphins 30, Denver 23. They each came in here 2-1 after losing the opener, rallying to win the last 2 weeks. Elway looking for a possible tying throw. He's aiming it for Johnson, too tall, and Butch was running out of territory anyway. Steve Sewell playing more and more, the heralded #1 pick of the Broncos, number 30.
Elway not able to spot the receiver here. Sewell running open through the turf there, but I'll tell you, it is hard for a quarterback who's getting some pressure. He's got to throw to what he sees, and he can't always see that open man.
And Sewell's a new number. He's not normally looking for him.
Going to be a great player, though, according to Reeves, who's very excited about his talent.
Here's the total yardage. The Broncos more successful on the ground. The Dolphins through the air. 2nd and 10. Trouble now, and he throws it incomplete, and he gets away from the penalty by getting the ball near enough to Clarence Kay that he's not called for grounding.
There's an indication watching Elway on that play that when he can't break free and really roll to the outside, he's a little frustrated. He doesn't have Marino's ability to watch his receivers and still sift. Now watch him going back and forth, doesn't quite know where to get, and is not able to keep his concentration downfield. I think that's one thing that Marino just has a marvelous sense about. Elway, on the other hand, when he can break free and roll either left or right, is very effective in doing that.
They'll buy some time now by employing the shotgun. Batted incomplete by 45, Robert Sowell. Sowell, coming on a blitz, was able to fly swat the pass down. It's 4th and 10, and Dan Reeves has decided to go for the field goal, or at least he's sending the field goal unit on.
3:33 on the clock. Reeves, I guess, believing that he is going to get another chance for his defense. We've got a quarterback holding the ball.
34-yard attempt is good. So Carlos,
I think he hit the goal. I think he hit it again.
He's been doing it all day. That's 12 in a row for Carlos, but he isn't happy unless he at least put some yellow paint on the ball. Hampton, the rookie, has some running room. 20, 30. Lorenzo Hampton all the way to the 45-yard line, and the Dolphins with 3:17 left. Actually, they'll say it wasn't down to the 47-yard line.
Special teams letting the Broncos down here. Dan Reeves again opting to give his defense a chance to perform. And you might remember the snow on the ground will remind us that last year in a Monday night game, he won the toss, opted to kick the ball off, and his defense went down, and in the first minute or so of the game had 2 touchdowns off fumble recoveries. Well, he's banking on a turnover here, or at least a quick stop by his defense.
Denver has all 3 of its timeouts left. Miami has used 1, so they have 2. Ooh. Nathan, that play had trouble written all over it, as Marino had trouble with the snap, and then the quick toss to Nathan wasn't exactly smooth.
Play out of sync. Dick, your eye's very quick on that one. Marino lost the handle as he took it from Dwight Stevenson. He finally got a hold of it and was able to flip it out. The ball should have been thrown there, and look, it's just late. And Nathan had to wait for it. That gave the defense time to get out and be ready for him. I believe that the Broncos would like to, of course, have Miami run the football, shut them down quickly here. I think Miami wanted to run that on first down, and if they'd gotten good yardage, would have again. But Marino will go to the air here, I believe.
4 seconds on the 30-second clock. He's going to use up all the time he can, and the 2 seconds showing. Takes the snap, and there's the ever-present Tony Nathan, tackled at the 48 in Denver territory, where it'll be 3rd and 3. And will Denver, 2:22 left. They do not use a timeout. O'Brien, the center, trying to get the Mile High Stadium crowd in the game to help out as Marino brings his team out on 3rd and 3. Major shift offensively. Now it's only Nathan behind Marino. Under pressure, he gets it to Nathan, but Nathan does not get the first down. Dennis Smith, what a hit. Ken Woodard with an assist.
An all-out blitz coming at Marino. Marino read the blitz, got it to the hot back Nathan, but the defense reacted too quickly. They forced the 4th and long. Shula will go to the kick, and we've got to wonder now if maybe Denver might not try and block the kick.
That one headed toward the goal line, and it takes a beautiful Miami bounce, and it's down at the 3-yard line. Can't ask for better than that. Roby with a wedge kick inside the 5. What a weapon he is.
Roby did not come out of college with a reputation as a finesse kicker. Seemed to be kicking it mostly into the end zone, kicking with full power. That's something he's worked hard on, and boy, it paid off here. And now the Broncos, a supreme challenge here. 97 yards away from the Miami end zone, and unless they get it down in there, they're going to walk out of here with an L on their side of the column.
By the way, where is Shamokin?
Where is Shamokin?
I guess you have to have a light to find out. 97 yards away, and now that missed extra point all the more important. Elway from his end zone to Clarence Kay. But that's short yardage, and it'll consume time. Jackie Shipp with the tackle.
And I don't understand that play at all. That's not going to get you enough yardage to do you any good. It only eats the clock. John, you got to get the ball deeper than that.
Barking out as the clock running incessantly against the Broncos, taking a lot of time to set up the play. 2nd and 6.
Now he'll go deep.
To Watson. What a catch by Watson as he was being drilled by Glenn Blackwood. Fingertips, 20 yards on the play, 1st down, and timeout with 1:02 left. 62 seconds remaining. Dan Reeves in his 5th year with the Broncos. His team trying to rally from 4 down. Have a first down at the 29. Only one timeout remaining. 1 minute left in the game as the rifle shot incomplete. Butch Johnson unable to haul it down. It's been difficult to stay in bounds for him.
Johnson with a chance to control that football, but it was not well thrown. He had to make a full 360-degree turn. There's Chuck Studley calling his defenses onto the field.
Now looking big down the middle, intercepted. Bud Brown, and is it appropriate that he should get the Miami interception? He goes down at the 50-yard line with 13 seconds left. Bud Brown, a relative unknown, another B in that Miami Killer Bee defense. He has been outstanding all day, making tackle after tackle, comes up with the first interception, and that kills the Denver threat. It'll be Miami that goes home 3-1. Denver stays with 2-2.
Yes, a tremendous win for Miami, and no question that Dan Marino is fast returning to his brilliant form of last season. Right, now before we go on, a quick reminder of how the National Football League is organised. There are 28 teams split into 2 conferences, the American and the National, and each conference has 3 divisions. The 6 division champions advance to the playoffs and are joined by the 2 winners of the wild card games, played between the teams with the next best records in each conference. In a while, we'll take our first look at the standings, the league tables. But first, this week's results, and what a week it turned out to be. New Orleans Saints 20, San Francisco 49ers 17, the 49ers' second shock defeat of the year. They were leading 17-13 in the 4th quarter, but then Saints running back Wayne Wilson opened them up with this 38-yard run. On the very next play, quarterback Dave Wilson combined with Eugene Goodlow for the score that turned the form book upside down. Washington Redskins 10, Chicago Bears 45. The Redskins led 10-0 at one stage, but ended up with their heaviest defeat in 24 years. Willie Gault's 99-yard kickoff return was a Chicago club record. Then the multi-talented Walter Payton took a rest from his normal running duties, first to bank this Jim McMahon scoring pass, then to return the compliment on the most spectacular play of the season so far. Atlanta Falcons 6, Los Angeles Rams 17. Along with the Bears, the Rams remain the only unbeaten team in the league. Here, Henry Ellard dances through for their opening score. Los Angeles Raiders 35, New England Patriots 20. 3 of the Raiders' 5 touchdowns came from their defense, including this 27-yard interception return by Lester Hayes. Seattle Seahawks 7, Kansas City Chiefs 28. When it rains on AstroTurf, there's no knowing what's going to happen next. The Chiefs cope best with the conditions. Bill Kenny twice hitting wide receiver Stephen Page for scores. Cleveland Browns 21, San Diego Chargers 7. Double trouble for the Chargers. Not only did they lose to the Browns, they also lost quarterback Dan Fouts with a serious knee injury. Cincinnati Bengals 37, Pittsburgh Steelers 24. The Bengals' first win of the year. Running back James Brooks, their star, with 133 yards and 2 touchdowns. Dallas Cowboys 17, Houston Oilers 10. 12 times he was sacked, 4 times he was intercepted. Things don't get any easier for Oilers quarterback Warren Moon. Houston was still tying Dallas 10-10, 2 minutes from the end, before Cowboys running back Tony Dorsett broke loose. He got as far as the 1-yard line, and Dallas's winning touchdown was a formality. New York Giants 16, Philadelphia Eagles 10. With the Giants ahead 10-3 in the fourth quarter, Phil Simms' pass was tipped into the arms of Eagles cornerback Herman Edwards. So the game went into overtime, and with less than a minute to go, the Giants won it with an interception of their own. Green Bay Packers 28, St. Louis Cardinals 43. The Packers were in total disarray for the first 3 quarters, falling 33-7 behind. And though they fought back towards the end, the Cardinals were always several steps ahead. Tampa Bay Buccaneers 9, Detroit Lions 30. 3 wins out of 4 for the Lions. 250 yards and 2 touchdowns for new quarterback Eric Hipple. Minnesota Vikings 27, Buffalo Bills 20. After their 4th defeat in a row, the Bills fired coach Kay Stevenson, but some of his players didn't exactly help his cause. For the Vikings, quarterback Tommy Kramer threw for 3 touchdowns. Indianapolis Colts 20, New York Jets 25. The Colts kept pace with the Jets most of the way. Tight end Pat Beach somehow keeping his feet and avoiding injury when scoring here. But victory went to the Jets, whose fanciest moment was nicely rounded off by wide receiver Kurt Sohn. So for the moment, the Jets are neck and neck with Miami in the AFC East, but the Dolphins still look a good bet to take the title for the 3rd year in a row. Of the 4 teams in the AFC Central, Pittsburgh seem to be best equipped for the playoffs, although they're likely to be run close by Cincinnati, just as they were last year. What a scrap these 5 are going to have in the AFC West, the powerhouse division of the NFL. And hats off to Kansas City for edging in front of their far more illustrious rivals. In the NFC East, look at Washington down there at the bottom, already 2 wins behind the leaders and apparently beset by problems. Next week, they're at home to St. Louis, a vital game for them. Chicago ought to win the NFC Central comfortably enough, even though Detroit and Minnesota have improved greatly this year. Green Bay are the big disappointments in this division so far. And finally, the NFC West, and the Rams 2 wins clear of the 49ers, a fine achievement. Despite New Orleans' triumph this week, the division will surely be between the Rams and the 49ers. Time now to return to the Meadowlands in New Jersey, where, as we've already seen, the New York Jets beat the Indianapolis Colts. John Smith was with the Colts over the weekend and reports now on one of their bright new stars, Owen Gill, who until relatively recently was a teenager in London with seemingly nowhere to go.
There's talk on the street, it sounds so familiar. Great expectations, everybody's watching you. People you meet, they all seem to know you. Even your old friends treat you like you're something new. Johnny come lately, the new kid in town. Everybody loves you, so don't let them down.
It was nothing I ever dreamed about, even being in America playing football. But now, I'm here doing it, and you never know what's going to happen. You never know 10 years down the line what's going to happen to you. But I'm real happy to be here, and everything is working out fine for me so far. And I'm just going to go by day and do the best I can and make the most for myself.
Owen Owen Gill, number 44, rookie, fullback, and special teams player for the Indianapolis Colts. Employed to pound out the vital short yardage, one of the toughest jobs in pro football. But if his short yardage is going to have to deal with to make his living, the chances are he'll cope. He's already come about 1,000,000 miles to be here. Owen Gill was born and raised in South London, a stone's throw from Clapham Common. From an early age, he loved his sport, and at school in Kennington, he played fly half for a rugby team that never lost. In 1971, his parents divorced, and for the next 6 years, he remained in London with his mother Norma and sister Paula. Then, in 1978, age 16, he left Britain to join his father, who'd begun a new life in New York.
I was kind of getting a little out of hand for my mother to handle, and she thought it would be best for me if I came to live with my father so that, you know, I can have, you know, the father figure and a little more strict.
What would have happened if you hadn't come here?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. You know, I was kind of getting into a lot of trouble and hanging out on the streets and just getting, like I said, getting into a lot of trouble, being a street kid. And I don't know where I would have ended up, but, you know, I'm real grateful that she did send me here now.
At Tilden High School in New York, he was first introduced to American football.
Well, when I first saw American football, you know, I didn't like it at all. I used to be at home watching football on the TV, and it just seemed real strange to me. I think just because it was a different sport that I've never participated in before, and it just seemed different. You know, when I used to watch them huddle up, I used to say, oh, why are they in the huddle and why not just playing straight? Whereas in England, when I played soccer and rugby, it was just straight through all the time. You know, there was no stops for huddles or, you know, making game plans and stuff like that. So it was real kind of different at first. It was real awkward to understand.
Most American boys start playing football when they're 8 or 9. Gill was 17. But once he started enjoying the game at high school, he was so successful that he won a sports scholarship to the University of Iowa. At the end of his 4 years there, he'd become their all-time leading rusher with more than 2,500 yards and 22 touchdowns.
Owen Gill breaks the tackle. He's heading for pay dirt.
In April of this year, in the annual college draft, Gill landed a real plum, the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks wanted him so badly, they paid him a signing-on fee of $500,000. He was to be cover for star running back Kurt Warner. But just 4 days before the start of the regular season, without any warning, he was cut.
I was shocked because I got cut, but, you know, like they said, being a rookie is the hardest year of playing NFL football. There's so much you have to learn in such a little time that it's real hard to adjust to everything. And I guess when they want somebody to come and step straight in, it's hard if you don't really know everything at that time. But they had a lot of veterans there too, and I just happened to be the youngest one there, and you know, they just went with the veterans.
The consolation was that he kept his signing-on fee, and 2 days later he was picked up by the Indianapolis Colts. Last week he scored his first touchdown. This week against the New York Jets, he played a full part for the last 3 quarters after #1 fullback George Wansley went off injured. On the ground, he gained 44 yards on 14 carries and caught 2 of 4 passes for 15 yards. In the final quarter, with the Colts down 25-20, he took them to the Jets' 5-yard line, gaining 9 yards on 2 plays. But on 4th down and 1, the Colts were stopped, and the Jets just held on to win. You got to see a lot more of the ball than you expected when you came into the game, didn't you?
Yeah, a lot more. Well, our offense is basically, you know, when the running plays are for the fullback, and I do play fullback, so they had confidence in me to run the ball, and like I said, I did okay, and you know, the breaks didn't go our way, but you know, that's the shape of the ball. You know, it bounces funny, and we just have to play real hard again next week and hopefully come back.
I'm pleased with Owen because he's come in a difficult situation. He was the last cut for the Seahawks. We brought him in here. He's had to learn the offense and wasn't expected to step in and play so soon, but he's been prepared, and I'm pleased with him because of that.
You got hit real hard a few times.
One especially, I came down on my head and I got kind of dizzy, and I had to come out for a play. But, you know, it's a hard-hitting game, and if I couldn't handle the contact, then I wouldn't be in there. But you know, it's just bouncing back and getting ready for the next play.
Do you have any messages for your friends and relations back there in London?
Yeah, I want to tell everybody hi, and I miss them, but I will definitely be back there next year to visit them all, and especially my mother and my sister, who I miss a lot.
Owen Gill. He recently became an American citizen, and he certainly sounds like one, but clearly he retains his London roots. We wish him all the very best, and leave you tonight with another look at the new kid in town. I'll see you here next Sunday at 6. Until then, good night.